I just realized how much my green shirt clashes with the green of this room. And for that I apologize, because I'm not gonna change. Today I'm gonna talk about my favorite pressing of one of my favorite albums from the Beach Boys, and that is the Beach Boys Today. Today! It's no surprise, because this is an album that a lot of people really love. You know, if someone gets into Pet Sounds and ooh, that, you know, I didn't realize the Beach Boys were, and they go, well, if you like that, why don't you go back, listen to Today, because that was also very good. Kind of a precursor to Pet Sounds, as many people call it, and they are right. They're not wrong. And so today I'm just gonna go through some pressings that I have. I don't have them all. This isn't comprehensive. I'm not Discogs in human form. I'm going to show you what I have and let you know which one is my favorite. So this one here is not a good sounding copy. This one is the original US pressing, and it sounds like dirt. A lot of these early original mono pressings from Capitol, they don't sound good, and it's kind of amazing to think about how bad these sounded when they came out. And you wonder, what did Brian think of hearing these back on his turntable at home? Was he happy with the sound? Was this as good as it got, and so he didn't know anything better? Did he ever hear a UK pressing of this album? Because it sounded much better than the US Capitol version. I used to have a UK mono pressing, but I sold it because I needed some cash, and I didn't listen to it very much. Not because it wasn't good, but because I had quite a few other ones that I listened to more often. Anyways, I never listened to this one, and I suppose I keep it because I don't have an answer. Next one I'm going to talk about, this came out in 1980. There was other iterations of this dance version of the album, I think, that came out earlier in the 70s. But this one came out specifically in 1980. This is the green label. And I bought this because I wanted to see what would happen if I used my Y cable and folded this duophonic down to mono. It's not a desyncing duophonic for this one. I know there was some of that back in the 60s, but for this version, it's frequencies being split up, bass on the left, treble on the right. But I thought I would get this because it's pretty cheap, and I just wanted to see what it would sound like. If you can find some of these green labels, you should get them. Just not for this album, and not for Summer Days and Summer Nights, which I think was changed to California Girls. Those two are duophonic, and they do not fold down nicely at all. They sound pretty gross. And they're also missing a couple of tracks. So this one took out the Bull Session, so, you know, whatever. But it also took out In the Back of My Mind, which, while not my favorite track, is essential. So this really is garbage. In general, these 1980 green labels are really nice. Just stay away from Dance 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 and California Girls, which is Summer Days and Summer Nights, also duophonic, also missing some tracks. Some of the earlier albums are also missing tracks, but they're not in duophonic, they're in regular stereo. I really recommend the All Summer Long green label, even though it's missing Carl's Big Chance. And I would recommend Pet Sounds, Wild Honey, Smiley Smile, 2020, Friends. Those all sound great. Some of them are actually my favorite pressings of those albums. But for this one, it's doo-doo. Next one up is one of my favorites. You can tell because I actually have a sleeve on it. This is the 1994 US reissue, sourced from the digital remaster that they did for the Twofers. And I know you're saying, digital, what are you doing? Well, I'm not an analog snob. I like what my ears like, and this sounds great. This is an album that, before this, I don't think sounded very good at all in any iteration. I know some really love that UK mono. It still sounds super muddy. This is a lot more clear. It's not too much treble. It's still got a lot of bass. It's still got a lot of warmth to it. And if you don't have, let's say, an Analog Productions copy and you don't want to have to spend $500 for the mono one, this probably goes for about $50 to $100, which I know is still a lot, but it's one of the greatest albums of all time, and it sounds really, really nice. I dare you to buy this and not be happy with the way it sounds. Probably. I hope you like it. The next one that I have here is the Analog Productions 2015. Was it 2015? 2016? I don't remember. It was somewhere around then. The mid-aughts. No, the mid-teens. Anyways, this is the stereo version of this album. And it's not very good. I think most people now know that the stereo remix of this album is not one of Mark Linnett's best. He did a lot of great things. Let's give it up for Mark Linett. A lot of people have been dogging on him for the last couple of years, and I kind of understand. But he gave us Pet Sounds in stereo. He gave us Smiley Smile in stereo, Wild Honey stereo. He gave us the Smile Sessions in beautiful mono. He did a lot of good things. He gave us the Good Vibrations box set. And even though this mix sucks, I just wanted to give him a shout out. But it does suck. And there was nothing that Kevin Gray, the masterer, could really do to save this stereo remix. I will say, it's not all garbage. There are some tracks on here that sound rather nice in stereo. Specifically, I'm thinking of Kiss Me Baby. I'm thinking of She Knows Me Too Well. I'm thinking of not a lot on the first side. In the Back of My Mind sounds nice. I think Dennis gets single tracked on that instead of double track. I'm not sure. Please Let Me Wonder sounds nice, but there's something that happens. There's like a magic to Please Let Me Wonder in mono, and as nice as it is to have the clarity of the stereo and hear all those instruments, something breaks down. There's too much of the vocals. There's actually some vocals that are flatting, sharping, to the point where it distracts me. But I love Please Let Me Wonder, and to me, I just can't listen to it in anything other than mono. I like to hear the instrumental track just on its own every now and then. But the stereo version, I'm always hearing it's either Dennis or Brian who's a little bit sharp or a little bit flat, especially coming into that second verse. Brian didn't approve this stereo mix. He approved the mono one, and I do think that if you go back and listen to some of those mono versions, it is important because certain things are hidden, and I don't think that anything's wrong with things getting hidden in the mix. I think that's an intentional choice that maybe Brian made at times. Maybe the group wasn't pitch perfect, but everything was kind of working together to create this one beautiful sound. So anyways, because of that, I don't listen to this very often, but it's really rare and also incredibly expensive. Do not spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on this stereo remix. Some people really, really love it, and more power to them. It's still way too expensive right now. Lastly, we have my favorite pressing, which is probably no surprise, is the 2015 or 2016 Analog Productions, mastered by Kevin Gray. You can't do any better than this. This maybe is my favorite thing that came out of all those reissues, even more than Pet Sounds. The album has never sounded this good. But I also think you get a sense that Brian was really pushing the limits of what a 4-track mix could do. I almost think Pet Sounds really broke the limit there. Whereas I think the Beach Boys today, it sits right in there to where it's not trying to do more than the technology can actually afford itself to do. To me, this is a nearly perfect album, front to back. I don't even mind the Bull Session with Big Daddy. Do I enjoy it? Do I race to listen to it? Absolutely not. Do I race to lift the needle off of it when it starts playing? No. I do actually have now a negative association with it because I heard the whole interview and there's an off-color joke that Brian makes, so now I can't. And while I prefer the other version of Help Me Rhonda, the single version that ends up on Summer Days, I don't mind this one. I like to hear both. Why not? Same with Be True to Your School. I like both versions. I like to have an extra version, so sue me. And then there's the cover. You know, what do you think of this? It's a very autumn-colored album cover, isn't it? And it does make me think of the fall for some reason. The only thing that really bothers me about this cover is this little part where there's a ladder going into the pool. It's fine that they shot it near a pool, but either show us more of the pool or cut out the ladder. Also, Al and Carl both wearing yellow sweaters. Everyone else is wearing a different color. Why? Couldn't they have given Al a different color? Certainly he's earned it by now. Also, why'd they make him sit next to Brian? You got like David and Goliath here. Mike still has enough hair to be hatless in this photo. Everybody's looking good, I think. It's a great album. Underrated, not within the Beach Boy fan circle, but I think just as far as being known by the general public. Anyways, that's it. I'm gonna wear a better shirt next time.